Hey guys, thanks for tuning into Aqua Base Outdoors. For today's video, we're going to be talking soft plastics. Now, we're not going to get into all the different styles that are out there, but specifically, we're going to talk about how to rig those so that you get optimum performance as well as a great presentation for fish. Now, soft plastics, I pulled in some of my largest fish of the season last year on soft plastics. I did a lot of fishing along the Cod Canal, but the nice thing to keep in mind is that you don't just have to use those if you're a big canal guy. You can use these in some of those back bays and estuaries just as well. I'm a big kayak fisherman. These things are killer for dropping along the bottom. You want to fish along a sod bank. Absolutely perfect. So the reason I brought out 3 different types of lures here is just to show you that regardless of which one you're setting up, a few exceptions, but in most cases, it's going to be very similar in terms of that hook profile coming out of the back. And the 3 I've got here today is the Algag's Whippet Fish. This one's in the 4 ounce. This one I use a lot along the canal. But again, they make smaller sizes, which are perfect for your kayak or more, less heavy water, heavy current stuff. Below that, we've got the Savage Sand Eel. Again, it's comparable size and weight. That's a 4 ounce up top. Great job with that bullet head. You can see it's got some battle scars on it. This is absolutely killer. We're diving down to the bottom along the canal, darts down fast, great lure. And below that, we've got the Elias Shad. This one I haven't fished too much, and this is something I'm really excited to try out this season from my kayak and some of those back bays as well. I really want to try trolling that right along those sod banks, or even I might even try it along the canal too, especially when they're pushing bait right up to the edge of the canal. You can fish that right along that shelf. Should be absolutely perfect. Now the one I have down here is a clear and pink size. I haven't thrown this one too much, but I figured it was perfect for this video because you're going to be able to see that hook as it carries through the lure. So what we're going to do with this one is I always like to lay the hook along the side of the lure, and you're going to see just where that hook is going to come out. So see where it's going to match right along the top? That's where we're going to make a mark with the point of our hook. So some guys will just say pinch it. I always like to be a little bit more, not that that's not exact, but just for myself, I like to make sure I have a visual cue. So I come up to the top, use the point of the jig head to make a little cut. You can see that's very visible, that little cut there. And now, with this, I'm going to aim my point just nice and center. Some different types of baits, you might want to take a look, where does that head have to lie? But for this one, I'm going to go right around center, and I'm going to push it through, trying to keep it straight and true. Don't want it to go off to one side. You want to make sure that comes out right in the middle of your soft plastic. So we bring it through. We got right in the spot we want. We force it up over those catches there on the top. And with that, you have a perfectly rigged whippet fish. So it's nice and straight profile on the way down. It did pop out a little bit off the center, but for this casting, it seems to work pretty well. And you can see, or maybe you can't see, that hook passes right through the center of the lure. Now this method works the same way too if you're using one of those Elias shads, same kind of thing. Hook points coming out towards the center, right? I would have marked this first and it's ready to go. And one of the cool things with these is if you find yourself with a ton of extra tails, you don't have to break the bank buying the specific jig head for that company. So if you have leftover Savage head, bodies, you can take Kayla jig heads, same thing. There's a Savage down below. That was a smaller sand eel. Just buy some Kayla jig heads, pop those on. Same profile. This is absolutely going to be killer. I know this is going to do great this summer just fishing for my kayak. Same things with the whippet fish. If you don't want to spend that extra money for those heads after a while, you can buy some aftermarket ones. Here's a 4 ounce, 2 different 4 ounce jig heads. One's the bullet head there on the top. These work great. They rig up. They have a similar type of profile along the top, and especially if you're busting fish, see fish busting along the surface, and you don't want to, and you reach in your bag and you just lost something, totally fine to throw this. I've caught fish on this too. And you'll notice this is, I usually run this on some of my more beat up bodies and things too. So this one's been kind of caught many fish. As you can see, it's torn out. Throw that on one of these, not a problem. You can see that profile between the two here. Now, doesn't have the eyes, doesn't have the perfect meeting here along the collar, but I can tell you that's still going to catch fish. Still gets the action and a cheaper head on it. So absolutely love the Algags. I almost always run the patent heads here on top, just because when I go to the ocean to do saltwater fishing, I'm usually buying new stuff, so I have a bunch of them laying around. But in my bag, especially to run other colors, I'll have these rigged up ready to go as well. So totally fine to do that. All right, I hope this video was helpful. If you guys have any questions, please drop a comment. And as always, if you like what you see here, please hit that subscribe button and also a like. Thank you so much for watching Aqua Base Outdoors.